Okay, well, it's actually been a few weeks since I did one of these, and just think I'd been trying to keep up weekly with, the show to keep everything pertinent, but it hasn't exactly worked out that way. And to be perfectly honest, for a couple weeks there was nothing really going on that was rant-worthy, so this week, what have I got? I do have something. Not from this past week's show, which was celebrating Joe's birthday, and that was just... Let's put it this way, birthdays on the Metallic Onslaught are basically a recipe for carnage and chaos, and, if you ever go to the Last Exit site, you've seen the videos, you know what I'm talking about, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, keep your eyes peeled and you'll see some crazy shit there pretty soon. Anywho, the previous week, we got into a discussion about the new Black Sabbath album. And let me clarify some things here first, because people have brought this up, and I tend to agree. It has been mentioned that having a new Black Sabbath album in the year 2013 is actually a good thing. And I agree with that. It's like the guys are still making music. It's not a horrible thing. Unfortunately, I just think the album itself could have been better, and obviously there were other issues regarding the making of the album that I just didn't really agree on, like the whole Bill Ward thing not being, how hard is it to come to an agreement, especially when it comes to money and you're split, how hard is it to cut a pie into 4 fucking pieces, I guess, is what I'm trying to, figure out. I don't get it, and how could they not agree on a figure that was agreeable to everybody? But it is what it is. Ward was out, and anyhow, moving on. Overall, the songs on the new album I don't think are terrible. I think there's some... I don't think lyrically it's far from their greatest. Ozzy's vocals seem lackluster in a lot of places, and then there are other spots where Ozzy, it sounds like he's starting to build up and getting a fire lit under his ass, and then, it's gone. And, maybe that's due to his well-publicized fall from the wagon after, what was it? Years of sobriety. He hadn't touched a drop since the beginning of the new millennia. I think they said it was a good, I can't even remember, 11, 12 years that he had been sober. Maybe not quite that long. It was a good stretch, the longest he'd ever gone. And, maybe since he did, start drinking and doing drugs again during that time when they were recording, that could have affected his vocal performance. Who knows? And, I just know, 2 years, when Scream came out, one of the best songs on that album was Digging Me Down. And that was like some of Ozzy's best vocals in years on that song. Not necessarily throughout the whole album, but, it's like, my God, he actually sounded like he cared what he was singing about, and he was into it. And on this Sabbath album, he just sounds like he's really pining to get to his next beer. That's just me, though. Anyhow, another thing, it's funny because it's like, we mentioned, I think the only thing to me that really stands up to the Sabbath tradition with this new album, Geezer's bass sounds like Geezer. You can't mistake it. It's definitely Geezer. His bass lines, his style, it's all there. It's really good. And yeah, as I said, the guitar, there's some good songs, guitar riffs. These are very good. I know he's probably the best riff master on the planet. The guy's a riff machine. But with that being said, and there may be some reasons behind this as well, there's something in the guitar tone that just did not sound like the classic Sabbath sound, and I'm not the only one who's discovered this and commented on it. And I'm not the only one who's actually compared. 2 years ago, Iommi did a project with Ian Gillan and Iron Maiden's Nico McBrain, Lindy from him, Jason Newsted, John Lord on keyboards. Who else was there? Ian Gillan from Deep Purple on vocals. The Who Cares project. And, a couple of great songs came out of that. And the guitars sounded like Iommi. You go back to 2010 or 2009. 2009 when The Devil You Know came out, the last Heaven and Hell album, or Heaven and Hell, basically Sabbath featuring Ronnie Dio and Vinny Appice. The guitars on that just screamed Sabbath. It held up. You could not mistake that as being Tony Iommi's guitar tone. You don't hear it on this new Sabbath album. 13 does not have. I'm sorry, it's just not there. And those are, with that being said, I know there's a lot of discussion. Most people either love it or hate it. And, for what it's worth, #1 on Billboard last week. It hit the top of the charts, which I don't know if any Black Sabbath album back in the day ever did that in the States. Britain certainly. In the States, that's a milestone for them. And, it's like I'm happy for them as far as that goes, but I don't know. Maybe the album will grow on me with some more listenings, but I don't know. I just, and I almost want to blame Rick Rubin partially, because some of the songs, it just seems like he wanted to remake stuff off the first albums and just give him his own little touch, twist, whatever. There's definitely some moments, especially in the first track. Title escapes me at the moment, but the structure of the song actually kind of echoes the original Black Sabbath track off the first album. There are elements there that not identical, but there are similarities in pattern and structure and whatever I'm talking. I don't know. Compare the two songs, and I think you'll hear what I'm talking about. But and getting back to the guitar sound. I don't know whether to blame Rubin in production, or it could also be because Josh from the Onslaught also mentioned that Tony started playing a new guitar brand, and after playing Gibsons for years, that's his signature guitar there. That's where his sound, that could very well be where the difference I'm hearing is coming from. New guitar, some issues in production. Who's to say? But I don't know. They're just, and maybe some people, maybe I'm just being too picky, but I don't know. For what it's worth, it's not a terrible Black Sabbath album. I don't think it's their best by any shot, obviously. But if you're a fan, obviously you're going to want a copy. And eventually I will probably get a hard copy myself. But I don't know, I guess I'm just kind of pining for what could have been, instead of appreciating, the fact that, hey, we have a Sabbath album in 2013, I should be happy with that. Maybe at some point I will be happy with it, but not today. I'll just be content. I don't know. Am I making sense? Do I ever make sense? Anyhow, hopefully it won't be a month before my next rant. Not that any of you missed me. Come on, I know better. You know, 20 views here, 40 views there. It's not like I'm going viral. Although that would be really fucking cool. Anyhow, horns up. Tune into the Onslaught Fridays and Friday nights, 10 a.m. or no. Don't tune in at 10 a.m. God only knows what you're going to hear. 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. 89.7 FM. That is, as I said, the Metallic Onslaught. And go to MetallicOnslaught.com if you don't listen, or if you're not from the listening area. Go to MetallicOnslaught.com and you can click into the old live stream and you can listen on your computer. And you can even record us every week and play us back on your iTunes. Or there are so many ways and so many things. Just go to MetallicOnslaught.com and check out some of the content. Go to Aetheric Productions on YouTube. Check out some of the videos. There's so much stuff to check out if you're curious as to what this show is about. Above and beyond, you know, the seriousness that we have toward the music and the lack of seriousness toward everything else. Check us out. You'll appreciate it. Or not. Anyway, I'm out of here.